She's one of my 3 main healers, though I don't use her that often anymore.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
3 reasons you should level Martha in 2024. Martha is a very, very strong hero. She was added to the game in response to the massive dominance of Zhu for a time. And she became very popular because it seemed like that she was healing a lot. Turns out Martha doesn't actually heal that much. Surprise, surprise. She's got crazy high healing whenever you look at her in the end fight screen, but mostly it's self-healing. Mostly it's self-healing, but that's part of the charm. So why level Martha in 2024? And should you consider it? First of all, I'm going to tell you what I have here is 128,000 power level Martha, and I probably will never level her up ever again. I got her to red so that I could level up her ascension if I wanted to, but I probably could have left her at orange 3 or 4 and she would have been okay. Okay, Martha's primary role is that of a tank, even though she's not actually listed as a tank on the Facebook and web version of the game. She is on the mobile version of the game. She has very high defenses, armor, health, 2 health skins, which I don't even have leveled up. I guess I should probably level these up, huh? Yeah, she's well equipped to handle attacks that are dealt to the back line. And as a fun experiment, I went ahead and ran through our entire week's worth of Guild War attacks. Okay, defense doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter in Guild War. It does, right? If you can get lucky and get a defense, obviously it's a huge upside to your guild. But it's really about having the right heroes to solve the puzzle that is the defense. And I went through entire last week and today's ongoing war to take a look at the fights that Martha was used. And I'm going to show you a couple, and you guys are going to see the real reason, the only reason why you want to level up Martha. As far as the first point, there are 3 big important points that I'm going to tell you here. So I'm going to show you just a quick look at the fight here. And you guys are going to see pretty quickly one of the main reasons why Martha is here. And the answer is Zhu. Now, obviously, there's other damage dealers in this group. Orion, Iris. I don't really know what's going on with Hopalong Cassidy here. I think he's just throwing heroes together at this point. Honestly, I'm not sure. But just about every single use of Martha, there is a Zhu on the enemy team, or you have a very strong attacking front line, and you need extra armor artifacts. I don't know that I would have used Martha here, but I'm glad to see that it won. Here you go. This one right here. Jorgen has an ability that pushes all of the damage to the rearmost hero. It's one of, I believe it's the Leper ability. That was Puriat 4 and Divine Awakening. It was in garbage time, you know, when we already, won. So Jorgen has this Leper ability that pushes all the damage to the back line. You could argue that in just about every single one of these fights, Martha isn't necessarily as needed as she used to be. Once upon a time, every hero didn't have a health skin. Every hero didn't have defense skins, all of this. But the Leper ability requires a backline hero that can take a few hits until you either, cancel the ability, stop the ability, kill Jorgen, what have you. I don't know if it was necessary here or not. So not only is Martha a little bit thicker of a healer, right, as far as her defenses, she also has an armor artifact. Okay. So against teams that are primarily armor focused, obviously you can just play with Dante, just build a dodge team, right? But having multiple armor artifacts can be good as well. This is kind of you know what, we're going to use Martha here instead of Dorian because I think it's going to matter a little bit more. But I don't know that it would have really mattered what healer you would have brought in this instance. It's just kind of safe to use Martha here. That doesn't mean you need to max out Martha, and I would recommend you not maxing out Martha. So you need Martha to counter Zhu. You need Martha to counter Jorgen teams. Do you see Jorgen teams? Do you see Zhu teams? You know what we see a lot of, though? You know what we see a lot of? We see a lot of Ishmael teams on our server, I should say. See if I can find any Ishmael teams right off the bat. Probably not. Of course not. No Ishmael teams. Yeah. We do see a lot of Ishmael teams. Okay. And Ishmael attacks the front line, much like Qing Mao, right? Attacks the front line. And those types of fights could benefit from an extra armor artifact. Right? You have Astaroth armor artifact. You have Martha armor artifact. Sometimes you have a third hero that's got an armor artifact. Qing Mao is a little too fast. Qing Mao is a little too fast for this, for that defense. But Ishmael is not. If you're seeing a lot of Ishmael teams, consider stacking armor artifacts. There are other ways to beat Ishmael, but that's one way to do it, right? Now, The second big reason to level Martha is variety. One thing that we have now, but we might not have in the future, is Clash of Worlds, right? You really do need 3 healers. You do. Is Martha one of the 3 that you should level? It really depends on what you see a lot of. Like I said, Zhu, you see a lot of Ishmael teams, you see a lot of Jorgen teams. I don't know that I would use Martha against any of these teams. Not a single one would I use Martha against. Alchemy Tower, nope. City Hall, nope. Bastion, maybe against this team. Martha might work against this team. Maybe this team also. Maybe. Clash of Worlds allows you the opportunity to have a lot of variety of heroes. Okay? And very often you're going to come up against physical lines that you just need an extra arm power effect for, that you need bonus speed up for, right? That you need that area of effect healing. Teams just aren't hitting your backline. William Rayburn says, Thea, for all of those things, 100% agree with you. If the argument was just Guild War, if you see Zhu and Jorgen and Clash of Worlds, then yeah, I think Thea is the better choice. The problem is Martha was added because Thea was not enough for Zhu, right? Or Dorian. Okay, I agree. Sir Turbo says speed up ability. Yep. Very strong speed up ability. But the third reason, and the most important, that you should level up Martha, and the one that makes me level Martha instead of Thea, is Osh. City of Asgard, Osh fight, right? That's the reason. That's the real reason. But again, the good news is, and I've proven it here on this channel time and time again, you can get 300 million damage against Osh without a maxed Martha. And in fact, there are some teams that do not use Martha and are able to get a lot of damage. Some of those really big damage teams don't use Martha at all. I'm not 100% sure that I would recommend those lucky critical hit teams to the average player. I think you've got to be really good at playing in manual mode. And I can tell you that me personally, I am not. And it's frustrating when you don't get that luck. You actually don't want to, and you actually don't want to max her anyway. So Martha is, I think, a very important hero to have leveled up. But I think you stop. I think you stop leveling her. And it all has to do with City of Asgard. I think you level her to a point that she's ulting at the right time for City of Asgard. And I'm not going to get into that in specifics here because I think it's going to be very subjective based on your current other heroes that you have built. But you want to have her armor artifact up. In some instances, you need her armor artifact up during the meteor shower. In other instances, you really need to have her her speed up to for the damage phase, right? So if you're finagling those two things and your team is staying alive for whatever level of Osh that you're fighting, then your Martha is good enough, right? Your Martha is good enough. And as your guild progresses through the various Osh levels, 65 all the way up to 160 or 150, I suppose, you slowly build your Martha up as well. She's one of my 3 main healers, though I don't use her that often anymore. I don't really use her that often. You know, I had a comment on one of my videos in the last day or so, a comment that said that we need to create some kind of weight, some kind of activity weight. To determine how good or bad a hero is, we have to talk about how good they are in various activities. Because there are heroes that just are absolutely dominant in the Outland boss fights. But those are low quality. That would be a low weight activity, right? Same for the campaign or the tower, right? Because there's a lot of heroes that could do just as good. And I can't agree with that more. Because Martha has 3-ish, maybe like 1.75-ish, 2.5 viable uses, I think that she's worth leveling in 2024. So this event, it's a good event. It's not bad. It's really good if you've already got her leveled up a little ways. It's really good if you do. Big shout out to Calorifere for putting this spreadsheet together. Calorifere, who's in the chat right now, takes the emerald weight of all of the items on the Hero Wars guide data and converts them to event coins. Okay, so then there's this column right here, column G, that talks about which are Calorifere's choice or not. Are they good or bad? And then, of course, the comments as to why. So the best items: Skinstone Chest, Enigma's Chronicles, Devour of Mages, the Dragon's Heart, Piercing Gaze, also pretty good. Alchemist Set, also pretty good. Talking about how some of these are really bad. Like, you wouldn't want to buy these because they're cheap to farm. There's a lot here. There's a lot of great information here. And if you want to say, hey, you know, why isn't Alchemist set being, blued plate armor? Why isn't blue plate armor considered a good buy in this list? And it's just explained right here. Maybe you just buy Alchemist set and farm the rest, right? Why is this more expensive than blue plate? It's the same number of fragments. So there's a lot of questions answered right here in the comment section. This is what you need. This is what you need. Ascension materials, decent emerald wise, perfectly reusable if you don't need the items, especially if you need them for more, from one or more ascension glyphs to get more coins. Very smart. I'll link it in the description box down below on YouTube. Let's see. There we go. It's the Google Drive linked in the description. So check it out for yourself. Check it out for yourself.